What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Now that we know what we all thought was going to happen, Julian Sayin has been named the starting quarterback for Ohio State ahead of their Week 1 showdown against number 1 Texas. Do you believe that the Buckeyes can do what only Georgia has done in the college football playoff era and win back-to-back national championships? It's worth going over Julian Sayin's journey to this stage, to this spot, to QB1 at Ohio State. And I think one of the reasons that this is so exciting is there is a time for which this would not have happened. It would not have happened because, well, Nick Saban had been coaching for years, probably wouldn't have got up out that chair, but also it would not have happened because immediate eligibility, the invention of the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness might have prevented all of this from occurring. But as it starts, we got Sayin coming out of Carlsbad, California. Was ranked the number 2 quarterback in the 2024 class behind DJ Lagway, who is going to be the starting quarterback at Florida. He originally commits and enrolls at Alabama, wants to play for Saban. Saban thought so much of him that Miss Terry, his wife, had told Julian's family that they wished he was available in 2023 because they would have put him in the game against Texas that Jalen Milroe threw those picks in, and Texas ends up beating Alabama on the road in Tuscaloosa by double-digit points. It's how bad Jalen had played, but also how much he enjoyed Julian Sayin as a quarterback prospect. He entered the transfer portal after Saban's retirement. Bill O'Brien, who had just become the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, had recruited Sayin to Alabama as perhaps an heir apparent for him. Wasn't really going to go that way, right? Takes that job at Boston College after a while. And there's some time in between here. Then we get going into the transfer portal. He is the number 1 ranked quarterback in the transfer portal and one of the 3 best prospects in that cycle, Caleb Downs being number 1, commits to Ohio State and then joins a program that wins the national championship. And he gets to see a guy in Will Howard, a grad transfer, and how he operates, how he accepts losses and how he moves from them. Huge to watch how Will Howard came back from that Oregon game. Huge to watch how Will Howard came back from that Michigan loss. And then even more impressive to watch that run that Will Howard had that won Ohio State the national championship. So now we have it. Number 10 is the guy. Number 10 will be the guy facing number 16 on August 30th at the Shoe. Ryan Day has a guy who is going to make his first start as a Buckeye for the the 3rd year in a row. But he's had 4 different quarterbacks. So CJ Stroud wins the job, holds it for 2 years, right? Then Kyle McCord wins the job. Then Will Howard wins the job. Now Julian Sayin has won the job. So that's 3 consecutive quarterbacks that Ryan Day's had. Now, this is also going to be interesting because it's the first time that we're going to see Brian Hartline as an offensive coordinator calling the plays. And we're going to have a new offensive line, new tailback, CJ Donaldson, who's lost a lot of weight, but also remained fast, powerful. James Peoples, who people have had good things about since he arrived on campus. Had Jeremiah Smith not been the best college football player in the country, particularly in that December, we're probably talking more about James Peoples and what he's capable of doing in that offense. And then, you've still got your aircraft carrier full of 5th-generation fighters on the perimeter with Jeremiah Smith, with Carnell Tate, with Brandon Ennis, with Quincy Porter, with Mylan Graham. You got dudes. And you got Max Clare, who I want to see integrated into this offense, unlike we've seen tight ends at Ohio State in quite some time. I think they're kind of underused. G. Scott got a little bit more run than some before him, but if you can get that tight end working, I think you're going to be in a really great spot offensively. Defensively, you know what time it is. It's Caleb Downs and Matt Patricia not really messing up what was the best defense in the country last year. The more I look at this, the more I go, okay, Ohio State's got all of this going for it. It is somehow the favorite, not somehow, it is the favorite according to Bet Online, who partners with Adapt and Respond, to beat number 1 Texas. And I think they want to show the AP, if nothing else, hey, look, y'all made a mistake here. The rest of the public knows who we are. We're the defending national champs, and we beat this team in the college football playoff. Just because they changed their quarterback to Arch Manning, you want to make them the number one team in the country? Now, they get back C.J. Baxter. They get back Christian Clark. They get back Quintravion Wisner. Ryan Wingo's aged another year. DeAndre Moore has aged another year. Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, those guys are still there. Trey Moore, Michael Taft. But until you beat the man, you're not the man. And to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Ohio State is the man. Now, aside from all this, I'm really interested to find out what is going to happen with Lincoln Keenholz. I wonder if they're going to keep him keen because we know that Tavian St. Clair is not quite there. But this might be really important if something were to happen to Julian Sayin. So if there is a weakness to this Ohio State team, it is the quarterback depth chart. Because losing Devin Brown and Aaron Nolan really hurts you if your QB1 can't stay upright for the entire season. Will Howard, big dude, durable dude, took great care of himself so that when mop-up time came, there was something to mop up. Julian Sayin, going into this first year as a starter, does not have nearly the experience of a Will Howard and has not been in those pressure games at Ohio State. I don't know who's better off here at the top, right? When we talk about QB depth, other than perhaps you got to go down a ways. I get to LSU with Michael Van Buren behind Garrett Nussmeier, but there's a weakness behind Arch Manning. I know Texas fans are going to fight it, and I'm sure that there's an Ohio State fan over there that goes, hey, Lincoln Keenholz is better than that Cotton Bowl game that you saw him in. I'm like, sure he is, but is he Julian Sayin? No, otherwise he'd be QB1. That's what we're talking about. Behind Drew Aller, are you sure? Right? You want to do this? You want to find out what's behind him? Notre Dame might be in a good spot, but they got two inexperienced but talented guys in C.J. Carr and Kenny Minchie, right? Gunnar Stockton, he's got a little bit behind him, but nobody you want to really see right now. I'm saying that a lot is riding not just on Julian Sayin being talented, but Julian Sayin being healthy and that offensive line protecting him. The more I look at this team, the more I believe that it can go back-to-back. It can win back-to-back national championships. But it also has to have a lot of things go right for it that went right for it last year. And I start with the quarterback. Quarterback is healthy, right? Jeremiah Smith, healthy, whole year. Caleb Downs, healthy, whole year. You did a really good job of keeping dudes in the game. Mick Marotti deserves a lot of credit for that because you see how that goes when you're not doing that with Jerry Schmidt in Oklahoma. I think a win against Texas is going to be huge for Julian Sayin's confidence. It will be expected by Ohio State and Ohio State fans. A loss might not be that big a deal, all things considered, for his confidence. Depends on how he plays it. So week 1 games, the first week of games, week 0, so forth, so on. These are always about who can make the fewest mistakes and who can just operate the offense. And that is what Ryan Day has wanted from the quarterbacks. Make the routine plays look routine. Make the easy throws look easy. If you are really having to run around and ask yourself, why is it so hard for me to make the screen pass as a redshirt freshman going to your first start? You're going to have a problem, right? So we'll see how this goes because Arch Manning's got more experience than Julian Sayin. You might say it's Mississippi State. You might say that it's UTSA. You might say it's ULM, and I'll say, okay. But at this rate, experience is experience. And the more games, more snaps you can play, the better off you are. Julian Sayin's going right into the thick of the fight against the team that expects to play and win the national championship while leading a team that expects to go back-to-back. We're going to get to find out what he's made of pretty soon. Can't wait for August 30th to be here.